What's going on YouTube? My name's Abe and we are back with another video to get you hands-on lab experience in IT or cybersecurity of part 2 of our Windows shortcut / power user series. This is the beginning to it all. Help desk, IT, cybersecurity. These are fundamental things you need to know to make your life easier or more fluid in an IT job. So, I got my notes up here once again because I don't want to forget anything. We have roughly 10 unique commands. Really, it's 13, but some things are doubled up, so you can do it 2 different ways. So, the biggest one that I think is underrated immensely is Windows key X. So, if you see down here on the left side, we have tons of things that can be used, and this is going to be a little exhausted with this specific command, but stay with me, right? So, apps and features, power options, event viewer, systems, device management, network connections, so on and so forth. All of these things are really useful. So apps and features gives you a list of apps on a computer. Maybe you need to help them delete an app and try to reinstall it for whatever reasons when doing help desk or support. This is a great way to get them there real quick and tell them to search it in and uninstall it or do it yourself, right? Another great one is event viewer. So if you're looking through logs or whatever, this, and we're not going to go in depth here, but event viewer is right here, and there's a lot of things that you can use event viewer for to read about things, find things, maybe see an issue, so on and so forth. System, this is a great one. Sometimes you need to check a device's desktop name to make sure it's assigned, or maybe you have fresh install computers and you need to put in a product key, right, for this, or see what versions of Windows you're on, right? Great place, super easy to do. Maybe you're trying to, sell a computer even, and you need to get the specs to list it. This is great and a super quick and easy place to find that information really quick. Device manager is another one you'll probably use a lot, especially if you're connecting or changing things or whatever. All this stuff's here. Keyboards are here. Maybe you have a network connected like adapter and you need to make sure that's plugged in or it's working or the computer can see it. That's here as well. Maybe you have a driver issue or whatever and you need to try to figure it out. You can find that in here as well. Another great one, Windows PowerShell or computer management. So this is kind of like the same thing. This is like on the host side, aka the computer side of like Active Directory, or sharing file names, local user groups, whatever. There's a lot of administrative stuff you can do within that as well. Windows PowerShells is another great one. If you're doing a lot of scripting or whatever, you can do it within that. So another great one, File Explorer. Last video we went over an easier way to get in there. If you want to go straight to the settings to try to change something, you can do that as well right here, super fast. Anyways, really great. That was a little exhaustive on that one. So another one, especially if you're doing help desk, that I really like is Windows V. So Windows V will bring up a clipboard for you. And this is from your copying and pasting stuff. So we did go over that in the last video. But let's say we open up a note and we have like, every time we answer a help desk ticket, we have to say the same thing like, hey, Nicole, which you could switch the name or whatever. My name is, Abe, and I am happy to help you today. What help you today? My goodness. To be your issue, right? And then you could say, I am sorry. Wow, I'm struggling today. To hear that, let me look into this more for you, right? So these are 2 instances of things that you might use a lot within help desk or answering tickets. So what we can do is I can take this, control copy this, and I can control copy this as well, right? And then I can click that again, and here's my clipboard. So I can paste these really quick to this person without having to Control C, go to the next window, Control V, Control C, Control V, and the next window again. And if you use these messages a lot, you can pin them just like so. So these messages will never go away. They'll always be here. Normal messages after you restart your computer, an hour or so, whatever, dependent, these will go away. But if you use these a lot, just click Control V, click it, and it'll put it in the box for you, so you don't have to keep typing or copying and pasting the same information over and over again, right? So another great one real quick while we're in notes is Control S. So we can see this document has not been saved since we typed in it. But if you want to click Control S, we can save this file. And if this file, test1, already has a name to it, and we type in here again and we click Control S, it'll just auto save it. So it won't have you keep renaming it, but it'll save it to what's currently in here. Another great one here, which I want to get to this real quick, is Control Z. So that's to go back. If you change something or you mess it up, or even if you deleted a file, right? Like we could go in here and I could delete this file and I could click Control Z and it'll bring the file back, just in case you by accidentally deleted something. So that's another great one to know of as well. So another one, Alt Tab, is kind of underutilized, especially if you only have one screen or maybe two screens, but you have a ton of stuff open. We can Alt Tab and we can move between windows. So if I hold Alt Tab, or I click Alt Tab, this pops up. But if I hold down Alt and I can click Tab to move between windows, and then I can pick which window I want to hurry and move to. So maybe you have a note or a script, or maybe I'm on the website and I'm reading through 10 steps on how to solve this issue for this person. I hurry and read it and I don't want to forget it. I can click Alt Tab, go over here and do the next step. So that is another great one as well. Another one that I use a lot at work is, let's say you have a whole list of files, right? So let me just make a couple, you know what? We'll just Control C, Control V, like this, right? And let's say I have a whole bunch of files and I need to name one after the other, but I don't want my hands to leave the keyboard. So instead of having to double click, whoops, that opened it. Like if I have to go like this and click on it, wait for it to finally open by single clicking to rename it, and then clicking enter and moving on to the next one, I don't want to have to click again and my hands leave the keyboard. So you can actually click F2, rename with F2, and then I can click enter, and then I can click my downward arrow and click F2 again and rename the next file. I use that all the time, and it's a super useful one to know, to save yourself clicking from the other and then trying to like wait and then it opens or so forth, or even right clicking and then clicking rename. That's just extra steps. F2, it's an awesome one to use. Another one, F5 to refresh File Explorer. This is another great thing, or whatever browser you're using. So like, let's say you're trying to go to a website, it times out, you realize your internet connection was bad for whatever reason. So we can go to, we can go to Google. Wow, struggling here. And let's say I'm trying to do whatever I said or the scenario. I can just go ahead and click F5 and it'll reload, as you can see up here. So another thing to refresh your browser, maybe you reset your DNS or your cache and you don't want to close your browser and lose the tab because you don't want to like do the Googling to go to the URL, right? We can just click F5. So another way of doing this is clicking Control R, and you can see up here again, that's refresh. And that usually works in more things than just like F5 will inside of a browser. So I find that one to be a little bit more universal by clicking Control R to refresh pretty much any application. Okay, another great one is if you're trying to pop multiple things up on your screen, if you click Windows or arrow keys, right? So I'm holding down Windows, I clicked my left arrow key to move Chrome to the left side of my screen, and if I release, well, I don't have another app open, so it's not going to. So let's do this again. So if, once again, I click Windows key, arrow, and now I let go, like left arrow key to put on the left side of my screen, and now I let go of the Windows key. Whoa. Why does this not want to work for us, huh? Let's like try maybe something like this. Okay, so Windows. So we can move it to other sides. There it goes. Now it wants to work. So if you click Windows key, hold it down, click your arrow key, let go of your arrow key, and then let go of your Windows key, it'll give you an options of other tabs that are open, and we can just click enter and select whatever one from the options we want. And now it's perfectly split our screen into 2 items that we can work through. So maybe you're reading how to fix a coding problem or a networking issue on Google. So how to fix network drivers. On this keyboard, not used to it. We open this up and we're reading through the steps, and maybe over here we are doing those steps, right? So it allows us to multitask really easy. And then if we want to click Alt Tab again, oh, it's going to have it both open, so it doesn't want to. So, you know, you can make that bigger or whatever, however you want to accomplish that. But it's just a great way to separate your screen into multiple different applications or windows, right? Another one is Windows D to show your, Windows D to show your desktop. So, and if you click it again, it'll open up what you were just last on. So maybe you have an application or you need to open up another file that your company uses often. You can be like, oh, well, it's on my desktop. Boom, click it real quick and go back to what you were doing while it's loading. That's one I use as well. So Alt F4, which if you're a gamer, you probably know this, but if you click Alt F4, it'll close whatever application you currently have open. So instead of browsing over to something or whatever, you can just click that, close it, get on with your day to doing whatever else that you want. Control W as well does the same thing. So if you don't want to reach all the way for Alt F4, and you're just going to do Control W because they're a little closer together, you can do that to close applications as well. And the last one, which I use a lot, and I think if you work at any company and you go away from your computer a lot, instead of coming down here and clicking sign out or to lock your screen, we can simply click Windows key L and it will lock your screen just like that. So hopefully, yep, there it goes. Sorry, it also locks me out of my normal desktop. So there you go. That is 13 more steps to become a more fluid and power user within Windows. I hope you guys appreciate this video, and if there's any other info you'd like to see from no cyber IT experience to becoming a full-blown cybersecurity engineer or NOC engineer or whatever, please leave a comment below of other videos you guys would like to see. My name's Abe. Stay tuned, subscribe and like on this video for more hands-on content like this.